Welcome to the latest episode of the Informing Choices mini-pod. In this, the final episode of the New Year mini-series on the Informing Choices mini-pod, we will explore the critical question of what it means to be human in an increasingly digitized world. The rise of the machines has a bit of a Terminator feel to it, but as increasing automation plays a bigger role across life, society, and business, it's hard to ignore the potential of AI and other automation technologies taking control. But as well as the trepidation about dystopian potential, these same technologies offer incredible opportunity to enhance humanity. The question is, what could it mean to be more human in an ever more technology-enabled world? And how might we as humans need to adapt, and what will remain purely human? To explore these questions and why 2023 was a tipping point we might look back on from 2033, I'm joined by strategist and futurist Joana Lenkova. Joana, what brilliant questions you've posed. Talk us through your perspectives, because I know you've done something a little bit different for us, haven't you?
Hi, Steve. It's a pleasure to be on your podcast, and what an incredible topic to explore. 2033. It's not that far away, but it actually gives us the opportunity to dream about what it could look like. And I've really jumped on the initiative to kind of explore one scenario about what could it be to be a human in 2033.
Fantastic.
Serendipity is my word for 2033. I will seek out for it, I will embrace it, and I will be inspired by it. That's my resolution. I guess I'm rebelling against all forms of algorithmic and prescriptive thinking. I really don't like what it does to my creativity and my imagination. It puts me in a tunnel vision, and that's something I've worked really hard to avoid. My favorite audiocast show comes along. It's called The Ode to Human Error. It's roughly 17.3 minutes long, but that's the whole point. Sometimes it runs a little longer, and sometimes it's a little shorter. The hosts allow for ideas to run freely, and they don't want to interrupt a really great thought just so that they can comply with a specific schedule. I was always a fan of breaking the rules, so I absolutely love it. It's an interactive show that takes you through the journey of humanity and how being a human changed from the beginning of the Industrial Revolution until today. But that's not all. It has some pretty wild thoughts as to what being human may look like 50 years into the future. And what's different about it is that it is actually run by humans. No AI, no forecasts and algorithms and predictions, no robots, no mathematical calculations, no engineering of the content. Just people, their flawed, biased, wonderful brains, emotional and sometimes rational thoughts, exploring their memories and their imagination with no restrictions or boundaries. It's a rare occasion nowadays, but funnily enough, I think it's having a real comeback. I guess we always crave what we don't have. With the 2023 explosion of AI tools enabling creativity, the world became overcrowded and polluted by overflowing content of, how should I put it, varied quality. People explored their wildest ideas for a while, but unfortunately, or fortunately, human imagination needs to be triggered by experiences, and it needs to find inspiration to be able to produce or even request from an AI to produce something of value, something that makes a difference, stands for a cause, evokes human emotion and action. So in a world where advances in science and technology are able to take over many human tasks, the main question we now pose is, what does it mean to be human? Throughout history, many of the incredible innovations and inventions have happened because of human error. The pacemaker, post-it notes, superglue, penicillin, and even chocolate chip cookies.
And
Is
even
this
Viagra.
really? I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
So is the secret of being human imperfection? And what does it take to learn to be human as you grow up in a tech-heavy world? The show today speaks to Amani, a 10-year-old who identifies as part of the digital nation of Tuvalu, currently living on the territory of Sweden, because Tuvalu is disappearing deep into the ocean territory, thanks to global warming. They have 3 parents. They were grown in an artificial womb. They have an older virtual sibling who ensures Amani is safe as they play to learn necessary life skills online and in the physical world. The sibling also provides companionship, encouragement, and support as Amani grows and explores the various passions they develop towards animals, nature, space, and virtual creative spaces, and many more. Amani shared their recent experience when they went to their local human library. It's an idea that actually started in Copenhagen, where you can go and speak to a random person with the idea of breaking your own biases by hearing their life story. And it exists today in 2022. So going back to the scenario of the future, this then became an inspiration for a worldwide movement. Micro-human libraries popped up across different communities, favoring in-person connection, conversations, transfer of knowledge, flawed as it may be, but oh so necessary, soul-shaping and fulfilling. Of course, there came variations and new ideas in AI integration, where some decided to invite holographic images of faraway humans. This then grew into an exploration of past and future self simulations, and it was decided that, as useful as this can be, it won't be part of the human library concept. People wanted to keep things simple. Only humans of today could connect and share their stories within this umbrella. Amani spoke about their education as well, and it just made me think of how different it is today compared to how I learned. I went to school and I had a set program, and instead Amani just meets different people who teach them the things they would like to know more about. It's not a specifically designed curriculum. It's not issued by the government, and it's not absolutely the same for every kid out there. And of course, they have the option to enroll in that and to have an AI track and prescribe the best knowledge episodes based on established abilities and claimed interests. But being able to meet humans, to learn from their human experiences and mistakes, to understand the consequences of their actions, to ask questions, to dig into the why and how they did decide to approach a specific situation. It comes at a premium, but it's priceless. Being human is always going to be redefined, and that's the most exciting exploration of all. How we learn, how we adapt to innovation, to technology, to climate, to AI, and to other humans. How we evolve our values and how we act upon them. There's something so special in the human connection, a kind of warmth and unwritten understanding. Something that says, I've got you, even though I don't know you. Something to trust and to look forward to. Something I don't think we can or would want to replace ever.
That was absolutely fantastic. Do you know one of the things that I was thinking about there was how beautifully you kind of take this highly digitized world even now, acknowledging that that's going to continue into the future, and yet create a very human perspective in that future. So as you were going through that, I was thinking about, well, is this about rebelling against the machines, which are, building on the Terminator theme again? Is there something about humans breaking the rules? Because, perhaps being more human in the future is about humans breaking rules, moving away from the machines, a kind of a response to increasing digitization. And then the other thing that really struck me is you were talking about this sort of combination of different technologies, and how actually what we're really doing in this future is using that combination of technologies to maintain an appropriate balance that's human focused between progress and the human.
Yeah. And I think this is what excites me the most. I think a lot of times we focus and over focus on the fear or the hope that AI or robots can change the future.
Yeah.
And I always think it's about us as humans. It's about our intention. It's about what we create through AI and through robots and the consequences of that. So it's not that AI needs to be better, it's humans that need to be better. So our values need to be represented in a better way. And I think the ultimate balance will be achieved when of course, we will evolve as humans depending on our environment and our setting. But the ultimate balance will be achieved when we use technology to better our lives, but we don't allow technology to take over our lives, because everything has its effects. And as we're learning what the effects on our human body and emotions and mental health are, we need to overcome these. We need to find a solution. And I feel like in the future, we will need these pockets of deep connection, which is purely human. And we've seen with the pandemic and with the isolation, it's something that I think it's a human need at a deep level. So
Yeah.
this will continue. Of course, it can be amplified and made more interesting and more interactive, and it can allow us to connect to people who are not physically right here next to us, but it cannot replace that connection.
I really like that that link between the way that I often frame this is that we have to remember that however clever the technologies become, the technology is a tool, and it's actually about the decisions that we take as people, as humans, that really make the technology sing and dance from a whole society perspective.
I agree, and we've seen a lot of examples of like harassment in the metaverse, for example.
Mm.
It's not technology's fault. It's
No,
our values. It's our values that we bring.
absolutely.
So we really need to look at, inside of us as humans, what do we value? What do we stand for? What are the set of values that we commonly agree on? And then build new worlds, go into space, go into the metaverse with this set of values.
I think that's an absolutely wonderful point to end on, Joanna. Thank you so much. That's absolutely wonderful. So the big lesson there from 2033, the big tipping point, is the sudden realization that actually our future as humans is about understanding what technology is, what it can do for us, but putting things in place that ensures we retain and develop our own humanity. Joanna, that's absolutely wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for listening. Do let your friends and colleagues know about the Informing Choices mini pod, and there'll be another episode along very soon.